the Nine-Nine.
A nice Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference from Joker? Hidden crossovers? What's the deal with Holt's secret sandwich? Hi, I'm Dylan, and here are the coolest Easter eggs and details you might have missed in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And of course, mind some spoilers.
Cool. Just so you know, at the end of the 6th book, Snape...
Blah, 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 no spoilies!
Brooklyn Nine-Nine have had amazing 10 guest star performances, but there are 2 that had cool cross-references to other shows. Fans' favorite fictional teacher from LA, played by Zooey Deschanel, appeared in the Night Shift episode. When Peralta stopped Zoe's car, trying to commandeer her vehicle, Zoe plays a fantastic word game.
I need to commandeer this vehicle.
It's a crossover. It's a crossover SUV, and you can't have it.
I'm a cop. Can you please get out of the car?
No, this is Schmidt's mom's car, and I'm more scared of her than I am of some 2-bit thug.
Referring to the crossover of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl. But an even cooler thing happened to Parks and Rec star Nick Offerman, who played Captain Holt's ex-boyfriend Frederick on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In the Thanksgiving episode Ava, we find out that Fred is fond of woodwork when Holt throws away the wooden duck he made, which is a funny reference to Nick's real-life passion for woodwork. Offerman has even published 3 books of his own on woodwork, so we guess there's only one guest star left to join Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
What is it?
Nakatomi Plaza.
Hit that thumbs up button if you want Bruce Willis to finally appear in Season 7.
Die Hard is the best cop movie of all time. One cop heroically saving the day while everyone else stands around and watches.
One more cool reference to a classic cop movie came from Terry Crews. Terry loves his baby twins. As much as 80s cop shows, his girls' names are Cagney and Lacey, which is a reference to the show about female police officers in New York City, Mary Beth Lacey and Chris Cagney. How nice is that?
Time for night-night, girls.
He is so strong, but so gentle. He's like an enormous, muscular Ellen DeGeneres.
Maybe the girls will become cops one day too. They have a good example to follow for sure. Sergeant Jeffords has one more fun detail on the show. Do you remember the M.E. Time episode when Amy asked Terry to make an oil painting of Holt? Though Holt didn't like the idea of having a portrait in his office, he enjoyed his painting a lot.
I'd like to take this home for my husband. He'll be glad you made me look so happy.
Later in the same season, we see the portrait in Kevin's office in episode 13, The Party. Though some fans wonder if Terry was the one who painted the portrait because of his artistic past, the sources on Reddit claim it wasn't him, but the art director Eric Scottness. Crews shared with GQ some of his plans to take a year-long art vacation sometime soon. Maybe we will see a painting in Cap's office after all. Speaking of Holt, in the series, he is presented as the first openly homosexual active police captain in New York City. Besides Holt's newspaper clipping about his coming out in the police, he has one more Easter egg for the LGBTQ community. In one of the episodes, you can spot colorful binders arranged in the color of the pride flag.
Are you really playing the gay card right now? Yes, Queen.
Later in the season, some fans also noticed that Gina had the same binder color palette to show her support for Holt. Now let's take a look at a well-hidden detail about Boyle that you may have missed. Boyle is a foodie, and it was a blessing from the universe that he managed to find Vivian, who was as passionate about food as he is. Though these two had to break, probably for the best as Charles now has a great family, the breakup was pretty painful and full of symbolism. When the two parted ways, Vivian gave Charles back his dehydrator, which is a kitchen device that removes moisture and thus preserves the food longer. This was a metaphor for Boyle that they couldn't preserve their relationship. Get it? Well, that became a symbol of breakups for Charles, as Gina did the exact same thing when she left Detective Boyle.
It was slightly less gross than I expected.
You can spot a dehydrator next to Gina, meaning that they are definitely not dating anymore. Gina had her fair share of hidden details on the show, including that scene with the bus. In the beginning of episode 11 in season 4, Boyle finds out that he was left out of the group chat, while Gina says, "I'd rather get hit by a bus than get one more text from you, Charles." Well, we have to be careful with what we wish for, as in the end of the episode, Gina Linetti had some regretty over what she said when she received a message from Charles.
Way to go, Charles!
Ouch. Well, let's move to something a bit more positive, like drunk Amy Santiago. According to Gina, the Santiago drink scale depends on how many drinks Amy has. So Gina mentions a 4-drink Amy in the episode Beach House in season 2, episode 2.
4-drink Amy is a bit of a pervert.
Hey, check it out.
When Amy and Jake finally go on a date, they set a couple of rules, but it goes totally wrong after that.
Pardon me, ma'am. Could you please bring us 4 kamikaze shots?
And 4 for me as well.
Ah, I like your style.
Can you believe Amy forgot about the Santiago scale?
So, we broke a rule.
Well, anyway, it worked out pretty great for the two of them. So let's talk about Holt's weird nest egg in the safe. Cap is great with human interaction and has his usual bright palette of taste emotions. The only thing that he really enjoys are peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I know you love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Why?
Their components have a long shelf life, they're cost effective, and they're so simple a child could make them.
Well, sort of enjoys. In the first Halloween heist episode, they show Holt's safe, and fans were quick to notice a peanut butter sandwich hidden there. Why do you think Holt keeps his sandwich in a safe? Does he care about it so much, or simply doesn't trust his employees? Sure, Hitchcock and Scully are in the precinct, but would they dare eat Cap's lunch? But that's not the only detail that the writers smartly incorporated into the storyline. In the last ride episode of season 4, Holt only has 10 hours to finish mentoring Amy. That was the highlight of Amy's career, as she finally felt the acknowledgement from her captain. While Holt gives hilarious advice on career and life, he mentions the basic sleeping positions.
There are 2 acceptable sleep positions: on back, toes up, arms crossed, or on back, toes up, arms at the side.
In season 5, you can see Holt bringing one of them into the game. But let's quickly get back to Boyle. In season 1, episode 12, The Pontiac Bandit, Holt brings 2 puppies, Richard and Dan, which they got after pairing Holt's corgi Cheddar and the neighbor's Rottweiler. Cap was looking for a family for the pups, but none of the detectives would agree to take them.
Terry won't do you like that. I understand. Just know, you have disappointed all 3 of us.
Until he made a right decision to give them to Charles. In season 2 episode called Finger Holes,
As always, I'll be using the main hole or no hole. I choose no hole.
You just said hole way too much, sir.
And that's coming from Charles.
Jake has to pay off his debts to his coworkers and ends up washing Charles's dogs. And guess who they are? Yep, it's Richard and Dan, now fully grown. How toy is that? Oh, we almost forgot about another great reference to yet another iconic show, Lost. In episode The Big House Part 1 in season 5, Jake and Rosa end up in prison. We love how Holt expresses his concern about Rosa in his own Holtish manner.
You need to be reminded that you're more than just a number, Rosa. You are Rosa.
Sorry, what's her name again? Holt even wrote Rosa on his hand and attached it to the glass. This moment reminds of a scene from Lost, where poor drawing Charlie tried to send a message to Desmond. Heartbreaking. Well, we didn't expect Cap to do that, right? Guess we don't know everything about Holt just yet, including his medals. From the first Halloween heist, we know that Cap has NYPD Medal of Valor, but fans were quick to notice that Holt has a World Trade Center medal, meaning that he was working during 9/11 or in the aftermath. Though some other fans spotted that the medal is at the wrong place. Holt wears his WTC medal underneath his Exceptional Merit breast bar, while according to the real-life NYPD medals list, WTC has to be above all the medals, except the American flag breast bar. Considering Holt's accuracy and perfectionism in everything he does, it feels weird that he would let that happen, right? Though officers and detectives fear Holt because he is a superior officer, and also out of respect, Gina, in contrast, has this amazing gift of terrifying people because she is ruthless. The squad has used her power of intimidation for their needs a couple of times. The writers decided to highlight Gina's personality with a jar on her table that says "Ashes of Problem Employees." And though normally it would be considered a joke, we know it's best not to mess with Gina. With Linetti, no one knows what's in that jar. The last Easter egg doesn't come directly from the series, but it's so nice we had to mention it. With all this Joker hype, it was extremely nice to find out that Batman's comic number 75, issued this July, had a cool reference to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Comic book writer and ex-CIA officer Tom King has tweeted about the comic, and if you look closer to the names on the plaques, you may notice that they say Detective Santiago and Peralta.
Very cool. Cool.
What other details have you noticed in the series? Subscribe to our channel and leave comments if you want more of Brooklyn Nine-Nine detailed breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and don't be a full Boyle. Stay awesome.